So today we're talking about teaching at Yale, and I want to focus on teaching graduate students at Yale. And in particular, I want to focus on a part of graduate education, at least at the Graduate School of Arts and Sciences, and that is teaching graduate students how to teach. So I want to start from the back end, which is the end goal of the PhD, which from what I hear is a job. And I did an extremely scientific Google search of the Chronicle of Higher Education and Inside Higher Ed. And can anyone guess what percentage of job postings within the academy now ask for some degree of online education experience? This is the interactive portion. 50, 75? 100. Okay, that's optimistic. Anyone else? No one's guessing lower? 10, okay. So weighted average of all of them is 49%. If you look at Academic Jobs Wiki, which tends to focus on junior faculty positions, the number goes up to 60%, which is essentially to say that 1 out of every 2 jobs that your bright graduate students who are either your students or your TFs are going to one day be applying for are asking us to have some experience with online education. And that means that I think we need to think very seriously about how to include graduate students and training graduate students in this online education revolution. So 2 things that we're currently doing. Last year, for the first time, the Yale Teaching Center ran our first workshop on preparing to teach an online class, which was a particular challenge because the other facilitator and I had both never taught an online class, but we did a lot of research and we had some really great discussions. And we're currently exploring opportunities with Lucas about allowing and mentoring students through preparing a 5-minute demo reel. A number of jobs are now asking students for evidence of facility in online teaching, and so allowing graduate students to make a demo reel as part of their job application package, maybe their teaching portfolio, is one thing that we're looking at doing in terms of giving us some of that experience. So I'm going to be very short, and I just want to raise one sort of systemic question, and then I want to leave us with one large takeaway. And the systemic question is one that I think has been raised already about how many faculty we're going to need if we are sharing brilliant online classes. And the most clear example of this is the network that we have about sort of very rare languages that we currently have with a number of other universities. Now, if the entire Northeast needs 1 professor of Polish, and I picked it randomly, I have nothing against Polish, then we need to think about our responsibility in terms of PhD admissions, about how many PhDs in Polish we're training who may or may not get jobs. And so one thing to think about as we do this is, how does admissions reflect this online revolution? But my most important piece of advocacy, my takeaway is, it's important, given the market and given where education is going, that we give graduate students the opportunity to experience online education. Most of us are slightly older than the curve, so most of us did not take online classes, but we will be expected to give them. And through summer classes, TF assignments, other opportunities that we can be creative in allowing graduate students to have this experience, I think we're going to be much more compelling candidates on the market. I think there may be a tendency, there's a lot to learn when you're learning to give an online course, and I think there may be a tendency to find a TF who knows how to do it and then just stick with them for the next 4 semesters. I'm sure that would be easier for everyone involved, but I think it's going to be very important to think about how we include a broad number of graduate students across fields in this. The statistic that I started with is consistent whether you're talking about medieval studies or actually computer science had a slightly lower percentage, but regardless of where you're talking, whatever field you think is the field where everybody's doing online education, it's really across the board. And so I think we need to find ways to include graduate students throughout that process. Thank you.